Hi, this is John Leslie. Scenario planning allows you to determine if you have the correct mix of discipline-specific people on your development team before game production even begins. It's the perfect tool to try different scenarios for each planned game milestone. This template provides discipline-specific estimation columns for design, engineering, art, VFX, audio, and QA. It's simple to add additional disciplines based on your game. Drag and drop features and assets into per discipline, per milestone buckets and see if they fit. Capacity limit indicators make it clear if you have enough of each discipline to move forward as planned. Let me walk you through this template. So here, beginning in the game backlog, we have epics like stealth mechanics broken down into the features that make up that particular epic, otherwise known as user stories. So if we scroll over here to the left, you can see that for each feature, we have a bucket, an estimation column for design days, engineering days, art days, VFX, audio, and QA. If you have additional disciplines, it's just as simple as adding an additional custom column. You can also change the currency from days to hours or points, whatever you choose. So once you've gone through the effort of filling in all of these estimates for each one of your features, it's then time to do the scenario planning, which happens here over on the right, where you can see we have a bucket for each specific discipline represented as a board. Each one of these boards is broken down into releases or milestones, and you can see each release or milestone has a capacity limit for that particular discipline. So release 1, we have 200 days of design. In release 2, we have 100 days worth of design, and release 3, another 100. And you can see that we also have that for each of the disciplines. Engineering has 100 days for release 1. Release 2, they have 200 days of capacity, and release 3, they have 100 days of capacity. This is most easily set here on the board menu. Go to Layout, Limits, and here is where you can choose the limit for whichever column breakdown you have. In this case, releases. Of course, it could also be milestones. This is also where you tie that board to your, in this case, engineering days column, because we're looking at the engineering days board or discipline. So now we want to start doing our planning. Say, for example, take cover hasn't been planned yet. We might think that it can fit in release 1, but let's see. So we'll take this, drag and drop it over to design. We know this has 5 days of design effort from an estimation standpoint. And we can see, yep, sure enough, from a design standpoint, this now rolls up to 37 days worth of scope. And that easily fits in with our capacity of 200 design days of actual capacity. Now let's see if it fits into engineering. So we'll take that same feature, take cover, drag it into the engineering board, and we can see that 47 days of engineering effort rolling up to now 105 days for release 1 has exceeded the total capacity of engineering for that particular release or milestone, turning this column red. It's also turned the engineering board yellow, indicating that although we haven't reach the total capacity for all the releases, for all the milestones for engineering, we have at least one release or milestone that's over allocated, in this case release 1. So we know now that this does not fit into release 1 from an engineering standpoint. Now, thanks to automations in this template, when we dragged take cover to design for release 1, it also added it to this overall next-gen game scenario release plan, where we have all of the cards that are tagged to each release or milestone. Also here, you can see take cover has been added to this particular board. We can see this now gives a grand total of all of the days across all of the disciplines. We're now looking at ideal days, which is the total from the backlog. Rolling up, we have 277 days of actual effort across all disciplines for a total of 1,000 days across all disciplines of capacity for release 1. That card was also automatically added to the next-gen game roadmap up here based on the dates that were previously entered on the card. Now, since we know it doesn't fit in release 1 from an engineering perspective, we can now simply drag and drop it in this overall master release plan from release 1 to release 2 to see if it fits in release 2. This is now, as you can see, automatically moving that across all of the disciplines that it was tagged to into the release 2 column in each one of those buckets. So let's see if it fits. From a design perspective, we can see take cover was automatically added here when we dragged it from release 1 to release 2 up on the master release plan. And we can see that it was automatically moved from release 1 to release 2 on the engineering board as well. And sure enough, that rolls up now to 77 days versus the 200 days of engineering capacity we have in release 2, and that particular feature now fits. So there you have it, a scenario planning template in Favreau.